Good morning, you wonderful people, and I'm very excited to make this video because there is one thing that I want to set straight. No matter who you are, there will be parts of your work that you do not enjoy. So, to be happy in your job and your life does not mean loving every single thing that you do or even lots of what you do all the time. And it certainly is not the case that if you love what you do, you don't need work-life balance. There we go, got that out of the way. But there are things I am building into my days to help me enjoy my work and my life that much more, even when I'm working long days as a trainee lawyer. Alrighty, good morning, you wonderful people. And I have just finished my first hour's work for the day, hoping to share 6 ideas throughout the course of today that are little things that I kind of have been focusing on recently, I guess, to try and stay as happy as I can in my job, even when I'm crazily busy. So yeah, the ideas I'm going to share here are more than just like how to be productive or how to get motivated. They're really at the heart of like what I'm focused on at the moment, which is finding happiness and like these moments that make me smile, these ways that I can enhance my experience of work, both while I am at work and then around work. The first idea that I want to share is this idea of building micro passions into your day, or at least like finding ways that you can feel like you're doing tasks that you really enjoy and are good at. And this really came from reading Grace Beverley's book, Working Hard, Hardly Working. Micro passions are essentially like things that you are good at, things that you really enjoy doing and where you can get into a flow of doing them and feel in the zone and, you know, stand out basically from other people. And the idea is that no matter what you're doing, you're always going to have things that you have to do that you don't enjoy, but you need to try and maximize in your job. So even for me as a trainee corporate lawyer where I have relatively little choice over the tasks I do, I have to find ways to try and build like my micro passions into what I'm doing. And that means, for example, for me, first of all, like people pleasing. I love having conversations with people, you know, just trying to get across ideas clearly and communicate clearly with people and having chats with people. And so I've really been making a conscious effort, rather than emailing people ever, to always have calls, to have video calls, to when I'm in the office, meet up with people, go and have chats. And I think I've had a really positive kind of impact even with clients at this very early stage in my career, because that is something I am very good at. And second, for example, I love understanding difficult concepts. I love this idea of like grappling with ideas and trying to work them out for myself. So even when I get given a really relatively kind of dull task, like inputting comments into a document, I'll be trying to understand like, what is this document doing? Why are these comments being put in? Trying to build in difficulty for myself that makes that task stimulating. So yeah, whatever your micro passions are, try and find ways to build those into your day. How's your day been?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
Wrapping up the show.
Yeah, and?
Pretty much there.
Yeah?
Success.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Over
When's the big release again?
September.
Cool.
Ages.
Yeah, I had a couple of calls this morning.
Yeah, how did they go?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, good. Just chatting to other people on the team. So yeah, all good.
How's the cake?
Really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, really, really good cake. And shows how little you have to do, given you have time to make a cake and also do your full-time job.
Yeah, I'm just barely...
You're just domestic goddess.
Well, what can I say?
I'm really good. So the second idea is to make sure that you're having happy micro breaks throughout the day. And I think, you know, no matter what you're doing, as I've said already, you're going to have things that you have to do that you don't enjoy doing. And building in these times where you can look through old photos and think, oh, like those were the days, and, you know, just smile, or you can have a delicious piece of chocolate cake or a quick coffee and a chat with your colleagues at work, or for me with Beth at home. You know, all these tiny little things throughout the day can just make you smile, even when, you know, you're doing something that you're not hugely enjoying in and of itself at that particular moment. Alrighty, so next up is this idea of practicing a what if not mentality. And that basically means thinking whenever there's something that's on your to-do list or something that you feel like you need to do, thinking first, like, what will happen if I don't do this, or at least don't do it right now? This is something I've really tried to implement and start thinking more and more over the last 3 months since I've been in the corporate department of CC, because we have been insanely busy and there's just been so much stuff constantly like coming in for me to do, including, you know, in my personal life because Beth was away. That's basically just meant that I felt quite overwhelmed, and this I found to be a really useful tool, basically, just to think like, okay, I'm in the middle of a task, I'm trying to like flow and, you know, get focused on what I'm doing, but I've got emails coming in, I know that there's like chores that need to be done. How can I kind of manage all of that? And I think what I try to do is, for example, if an email comes in, I'll think, you know, what if I don't reply to that for an hour? Now, there may be some clients or some like emails that come in that I absolutely need to reply to straight away, but actually there may be others where I can get away with not replying immediately. So it's really just this idea of focusing on what really needs to be done now. And if, for example, you know, at a weekend there are chores that don't get done and, you know, that's not ideal, but the washing doesn't fundamentally like have to be done now. And if it's going to damage my mental health, having to spend my 1 or 2 hours of free time doing that, then I shouldn't do it right now. And this idea of thinking, what if not, was inspired by a blink I listened to on Blinkist, today's sponsor, all about Adam Grant's book, Think Again. As someone with a pretty busy work life, but who also really prioritizes finding new, better ways of living and working, Blinkist has allowed me to spend, 15 minutes, which I often do over breakfast or when out on a run, listening to the key takeaways from a huge number of non-fiction books. I've been using it to remind myself of the key ideas from books I've read in the past, like James Clear's Atomic Habits, or to discover completely new books. One of the things I really love about Blinkist is that I can listen to blinks from books or podcasts in topics that I find super interesting, but where I probably wouldn't be willing to read an entire book. I've recently read and listened to the blinks based on A Little History of Economics, for example, which drew out the key questions asked by economists from Aristotle to the modern day in just 16 minutes and found it incredibly interesting. As you guys know very well, I'm all about kind of taking action based on what we read, learn, or watch. And Blinkist draws out the key ideas and action items in a way that is really easy to digest, remember, and implement. So yeah, follow the link at the top of the description to start your free trial of Blinkist and make the most of their special offer just for you wonderful people of 25% off premium membership. Alrighty, so it is the end of the working day, and as much as I'm tempted because I'm very excited because I have finished at a reasonable time and get to spend the evening with Beth to just log off, shut everything down and get out of here, actually I found that, one of my biggest struggles working from home especially is switching off for the evening. And I think the best way I've found of being able to do that and kind of set work aside is to just spend 5 minutes at the end of the day now to write in my file of facts. Basically, go through the to-do list that I created for today of all the things I wanted to get done, cross off the things that I have done already if I haven't already done that. Then, move anything that I didn't do, circle it in red and move it to tomorrow. So that's on my to-do list for tomorrow. And then also unload anything from Trello that I'm going to need to do in the course of tomorrow into my paper to-do list. So I have a comprehensive list of everything I want to get done tomorrow, sorted at the end of the day. And I can, spend the evening chilling with Beth, cooking, doing everything I want to be doing, without feeling like there are these sort of things hanging over me that I know I haven't got done today, but that I haven't actually yet kind of fully planned to do tomorrow. So yeah, it's a small thing, but I find it really helps me to switch off in the evening at the end of a long day's work and just basically kind of think, okay, I know everything's under control for tomorrow. It takes me 5 minutes and it's a habit I've really kind of got out of over the last couple of months, but so powerful and yeah, highly recommend. And while we are on the topic of to-do lists, Trello is the tool that I use to keep track of everything I have going on at work, as well as in my personal life and my business. And I have very excitingly released a free Skillshare course that you can get through the link in my description. You get a free 2-week trial of Skillshare and you'll be able to complete my half-an-hour course that will get you completely set up with everything you need to stay on top of everything you have going on in your life just like I do in Trello. So yeah, do sign up through the link in the description. Now back to the video. Alrighty, so before I get out of here, out of this room for the rest of the evening, I want to share two very quick final ideas. The first one is definitely the most important one of all for you to kind of take away, and it is to relish quiet times. So when I first started at CC, everyone said, like, don't worry about, staying online past 5, 4, even 3 o'clock in the afternoon if you have nothing to do. Enjoy the quiet time. But inevitably, when you start work, you want to seem keen, you want to stay online, you kind of find stuff to do, you're really inefficient with the stuff you're doing. So you can stay online kind of like this until, silly o'clock in the evening, ruining your evening, basically ruining all your free time so that you can seem keen. And the reality is that this job is only sustainable and only can be done in the long term if you relish the quiet times. If you say, no, right, I'm kind of quiet this week. I'm going to take every single second of quiet time I can and enjoy it. And that has been probably the biggest piece of advice that every single senior person has given me throughout the last 9 months. So yeah, if it's good enough for, partners and really senior people, it should be good enough for us. And as I head upstairs to go enjoy the rest of my evening with Beth, the final thing I really wanted to share was just that I've worked with someone over the last few weeks who has just been so smiley and happy and generally kind of just given off positive vibes the whole time, even though we've been working insanely hard. And it's really reminded me that, being a smiley, happy, positive person as much as possible, while obviously you shouldn't hide how you're actually feeling, does mean that people generally will reflect that happiness and that positivity back onto you. So, no matter how much things may be tough or you're working crazily hard, just trying to, have fun doing it and smile and be a nice kind of person that people want to be around, I think is actually probably really underrated as a way of just making yourself feel better, even when you are crazily busy. So to quickly recap the takeaways from this video, first of all, you need to build micro passions into your day as much as possible. Try to find ways that you can do the things you love and are really good at as much as possible, because you'll get most joy out of doing these things, and you'll also be most impressive and most likely to progress in your career. Second, take happy micro breaks. Fill your day with these tiny little moments of joy where you look at old photos, where you talk to people you really get on with, where you have a laugh and just try to make the most of whatever it is you're doing. Third, get a what if not mentality. And this is really useful for when you are insanely busy. If stuff has piled up for you to do, think, what's the worst that's going to happen if I don't do this? There may be some tasks that actually there will be significant consequences or negative impressions if you don't do them really well right now. But there may be other things that can fall away, at least for the time being. Fourth, make sure you're planning the next day, the night before. This will allow you to really relax into your evening in the knowledge that, everything you need to get done the following day is already planned out. Most importantly of all, remember to relish quiet times. There will be times when you are insanely busy, and you should absolutely work as hard as you can to do as well as you can. But when you have a down week or even a couple of weeks, make sure you allow yourself to fully relax. And finally, be the happiness you want to see in the world. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do go and check out my self-care weekend routine, where I share the habits and the rituals that I have created to really allow myself to unwind at the weekend. Remember, you can start your free trial of Blinkist through the link in the description. Give this video a quick like, drop me a comment. I usually always try to reply, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.